Hi there guys, in this video I want to have a look at Elite and Dangerous 2.4 beta. Now this only came out a day or two ago, so it hasn't been out for long. Obviously the main point of 2.4 is the Fargon return. However, Frontier don't want to spoil it for other players, so they have decided to disable all the content surrounding the Fargons. This does make testing a little bit more difficult in a sense because we can't test that content, but I completely understand the decision. Frontier basically want to make that content available as soon as the actual patch goes live to public, so that does cut down the amount of stuff. I have run through some of the patch notes in 2.4, and to be honest, a lot of the stuff there seems to be quality of life, which is not a bad thing at all, but it does suggest that 2.4 could have a lot of hidden content or content to be unlocked at a later date, and until Frontier do that, we have no idea exactly what 2.4 includes. All I can do in this video is to run through some of the things that have been included in the patch notes and to actually give you a heads up on 2.4. So one of the first features I want to look at is the decreased load times on the system and galaxy map, as these could take quite a long time before. You can see there it loaded in about a second or so. In the past that could take 5 or 6 seconds, which was rather annoying, especially if you just wanted to check something quickly. So that seems to be a lot better. The system maps are also pretty instantaneous, as you can see there, that loaded straight away. I just want to check another system just to show you, because that one may have been cached. So if I just pick, say, this system here, and then show you the system map again, you can see there it was pretty instantaneous. So that should make things a lot easier to get around, as before it was quite a slow process, and quite often I tried to avoid using these maps because they were so slow. So the next change is the increased jump range plot we can do. So we still have the 1 kilometer on our economical routes, however now we can plot up to 20,000 light years away on our fastest route, and we can actually allow for nebulon stars, which can further decrease the amount of range. So this 20,000 range should more or less get you to Colonia. It won't quite get you there because Colonia is around about 22,000 light years away, I believe. So it's not going to get you quite there. However, as you know, there's all these landing points between there, so you can easily get to the 6th landing position, which is around about 17,000 light years. So you can do all that on one set of plotting. As you can see here, it is also much faster than it was before. Especially when you get around Colonia, it was quite heavily densely populated with stars, and it could take absolutely ages even doing 1,000. So this is a very, very welcome change for people who go exploring on long distances. This should make getting around the map so much more easier. The only thing I kind of would like with that was a bigger jump range with it, as 50-60 light years is not that big now when you consider you can plot such massive routes. Another thing I've just noticed there is, as you can see, there's a fuel star there, so it's also putting it on the map where you need to refuel. So that is going to be a lot more helpful for people who need to see where you can do it. So all in all, this does look a very welcome change, and it's going to improve the game quite massively, I think. It's something that getting around the galaxy can be a bit of a fag to do, and this should make life a lot easier. Especially going long distances. So this brings me on to the next thing, which is the decreased time for passenger mission boards to load. So you can see here it loaded within about 2 seconds. In the past that could take 10-12 seconds sometimes, and it was rather annoying. It got to the point where I didn't used to check the bulletin board because it was such a long process. So the other thing they've done with the bulletin board is that you can't complete multiple missions with the same mission. That's something that's been changing in 2.4. So if we just check the passenger lounge, you can see it takes a second still or two, but that is much easier and much quicker. So this should allow you to actually be able to check these boards much faster and to get around the galaxy a little bit quicker as well. So all in all, they're very welcome changes. I don't know why this mission's offering 32 million just to go 15 light years. That seems a bit high, so I guess maybe the pay needs to kind of be a bit equalized at the moment, but anyway, so yeah, that should help you get around the boards a lot quicker, being a lot faster. So this brings me on to my next point, which I'm not entirely sure if it should be here or not. It may be just a slip up by Frontier. So if we go into the shipyard section, you can see we've still got 31 ships being offered, and if we quickly run through them, you can see these are all the standard ships that have been in the game for quite a while, some obviously longer than others. So you can see here, yeah, we've got all them lot. And like I said, these ships are not a tenth of the price which they normally are in beta, to allow people to test them. So if we come out of there and we come up to the multi-crew section and we go to the info section, on the list of possible ships, if you look between the Python and the Type 9, there seems to be a Type 10 Defender. So whether this is a new ship that's going to get added in 2.4 or a later beta is yet to be seen, but this would highly suggest there is a new ship coming. I'm quite surprised if there is a new ship why it isn't included in this beta. Maybe it wasn't quite ready in time. There was no mention anywhere else of that ship in the patch notes or whatnot. So whether this is something that shouldn't even be there and is just a type thing, it might be the case. But I don't know, it could be a new ship we might see, and if it is, that will be very interesting, especially if it's a bigger ship than the Type 9 as it suggests, and being Defender, I'm guessing it's not heavily armed, so it might be a better trade ship as such. That could be a placeholder for something else, like Panther Clipper maybe. I'm not too sure on that, but yeah, I just wanted to let you know on that one in case it is a new ship, as that could be quite interesting if there is a new ship on the way. So the next change is into the livery section, I believe. Now this is a place that you can customize your ship or SRV. So here you can see we can either select either. So if we select our ships and have a look at the paint jobs, you can see here we can either remove it or go with the Black Friday one, which is both we kind of own. All these other paint jobs I don't own, and they're highlighted in blue as you can see here. But now we can actually preview all the paint jobs in game and see how they look on our ship, which is a very welcome change. I don't think you could do that in the past. I know paint jobs is not for everybody, and as you can see I haven't actually purchased any myself, but I do know there's people out there who really like those, and it's going to be very useful for you to actually preview those. So like I said, I don't have access to, I don't think, any of the paint jobs, to be honest. I've purely stuck with the basic colouring of all the ships. So if we look at name tags now, or nameplates, so these are the things you stick on the plate on the ship and give it a name. Again, I haven't purchased any of those. I'm just going to quickly run through some of the ones so you can actually see what they look. RF07 is just my own naming, by the way. It stands for Rogue Force, and it's something I've used in the X games in the past, and I've just stuck with it. So if we keep going through, you can see there's some quite nice ones there. That one looks pretty good to me. They could see me actually having that one stuck on the ship, but obviously I don't own that one, unfortunately. But that looked pretty good to me. So if I just go through a couple of the others and show you what they kind of look like, as you've not been able to probably preview these like this before. But still, like I said, they are in-game purchases again, which I'm not highly keen on, to be honest, but I understand why they're there, I guess. And there's some quite nice ones there. It's a shame you can't actually add your own to the game. I'd like to have been able to do that, but at least you can actually preview them now. So if we come down and just look at the various other sections, so these sections like the wings, we can actually preview those as well. I'm not too sure if you could have done that. So this should make actually previewing your ship and SRV paint jobs and stuff like that much easier, as you can actually check it in game before you actually buy anything, which makes sense. So on to the next feature, with a repair limpet. Now what this allows you to do is to repair a hull of a ship. So to get them, you need to actually use one of your optional internal compartments. So here, if we come down to the repair limpets, which is down the bottom here, you can see here there's a various amount of different controls. So if we just change the price from high to low, you can see here there's quite a big range of them. Now these are not intended to be used in battle. They're intended to be used out of combat when, like you said, either you've just got away from a big battle or you've just damage yourself, say when you've gone exploring. I guess I need to check into them a lot more, but that's, I guess, the intended function, and I guess for some people that is going to be quite a welcome change. I tend to not get too much damage when I'm exploring, to be honest. I guess maybe I've been a bit more lucky, but for those who want to just make sure they haven't been able to repair themselves, that's a very nice welcome addition to 2.4. Maybe with the Farguns coming in, we might need those sort of systems more and more. Anyway, so this brings me on to my last point, which is some more recipes. So now we can actually create a few more things. One being chaff. So here we can actually create standard or basic or premium. I'm not too sure what standard and basic differ by, apart from needing more resources. But anyway, so the next is heat sinks. So we can actually make a basic one, a standard one, or a premium offering more heat dissipation. And finally into life support. So this, we can only make a basic version. I guess this is to reset the timer on your air in case your canopy has been compromised. So these recipes should make exploring maybe a bit easier, as they allow you to basically continue on where you may have not been able to. So anyway, that's a look at 2.4 so far. As you can see, most of the new changes are to improve the quality of life, not necessarily add new content. The Type 10 may not happen. I did want to include that in the video just in case, but it may be just an oversight by Frontier. So if that is, that would be a bit of a shame, as I always like seeing new ships added to the game of any size, because they can sometimes affect trade, exploration or combat in whatever way. But if that isn't the case, it would be a little bit annoying. It's a bit strange why it wasn't included in the beta. Maybe it just wasn't ready in time and it will be in a further beta. I don't know. I'll let you guys know if that's the case. Anyway, so I know it's been a while since my last video and I must apologise again. It's just been a rather busy time here, and hopefully things will get back to normal in a few weeks. Unfortunately, next week I'm going to get interrupted again, so there's going to be no videos then either. So anyway, I did want to get this video out just to let you guys know what 2.4 features are a bit like. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them there. They're always greatly welcome. Another thing that does help me, if you do like the video, is please leave a like. And another thing that really helps me and the channel, if you like it, is to subscribe. Big thanks to all the guys who've done that already. Thanks guys very much. Anyway, I think that's it for the time being. Take care and have fun out there.